There are a few subtle kind of little changes that if you were to make, you would see improvements not only really quickly, but also over time. And I want to give you what some of these are that you could implement not only into your matches, but into your training that are just going to take your game to that next level, that if you implement all of them, you'll kind of wake up one day and be like, wow, I've gotten a lot better. So I'm going to be going over what these are. I've got 5 of them for you. That's coming up next. Before we jump into that, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dave and this is Simply Soccer, where I am creating 2 to 3 videos every single week to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. Now, one other thing, if you haven't gotten it already, is to get my free ebook, Game Changer, which is going to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. It's 50+ pages filled with drills, filled with tips, filled with training. You can get that through the description. It's the first link down there. Now, without further ado, let's move into the first thing that's really going to help you improve your game by making just a slight tweak. So we're going in reverse order, starting with number 5, and this one you've heard before, but it bears repeating here. It's worth repeating, and that is to practice at game pace most of the time. If you just go through the motions in training, you may find you're not getting that much better. But if you really do it at game pace, like you're receiving the ball and you pretend you have a man on your back, even if you're training individually, you get a chance to shoot and you really put yourself in that game-like situation. Now, there'll be times to just practice technique and pure technique over and over again with reps. But a lot of the time you want to, especially with those fundamentals, pretend you're in a game situation. Play at game pace, because the way you train in those situations is the way you're going to play come match time, because you're forming habits, you're forming behaviors that are occurring as you're doing these things over and over again. And what you don't want to do is do them over and over again and kind of train this going through the motions, almost laziness style of play. So make sure you're training at game pace, and I promise it will start to transfer to match day. Number 4 is to focus on consistency over intensity. And this is one of those things that maybe you get motivated, you really want to train, and you kind of go all out for a week or something, and then you miss the next week. Or you kind of go all out in some of your training sessions, and then you miss some training sessions. Understanding that consistency over time is what's going to really improve you. And yes, there will be some training sessions that are more intense than others, but just to understand that consistency over intensity over time is what's going to improve you. So you don't need to go for that 2-hour training session if that's something your body can't handle and doesn't make sense. I'd much rather you do 45 minutes to an hour of focus training, multiple times a week, rather than trying to do, training that's just going to present you with diminishing returns or have you needing to recover even longer. So in the end, you get less quality training. All right, so just focus on consistency. And even if you feel like that doing more is going to, or doing longer is going to equal better results, just understand that over time, it's going to be that consistent training, consistently doing it in match pace, consistently really continuing to move forward. That's going to bring the results. In fact, in the comments down below, put I am consistent if this is something you're going to do. Affirm that, move forward with that, and actually take action on that. And there's some other things we're going to go over in this video that will help you with this. Now, number 3 is take your recovery seriously. And when you do this, you will start noticing improvements in your game very quickly. This is something when I was younger, I didn't do enough in my eyes. And again, because I was younger, my body recovered more and it recovered faster just because it does. But getting in the habit of doing the things that produce good behavior so that you're recovering faster is essential. Like, doing the things like the recovery work, like stretching and mobility, hot and cold therapy, making sure you're doing recovery sessions. These things go such a long way to allowing you to be able to train more, to allowing you to play better on match day, feeling good. Feeling good in your body will affect your performance. Do the mobility work, do the hot cold therapy, do the things, get the massage gun. Like, all these things I know can be a bit mundane, but find ways to enjoy them, find ways to plug it into, I'm trying to become a better footballer, so this is necessary, this is good stuff, and it will influence you. So do me a favor and hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video so far or you're getting something out of it. That's a great way to support the channel. Now we're moving on to number 2. And number 2 is to strategically plan your training. And what I mean is, don't go to the pitch and wing it. In my eyes, when you're doing that, maybe you'll improve a little depending on what you're doing, but you're just wasting a lot of time, because if you had an actual plan in place, something that was strategic for you or just a proven system, you're gonna get way more out of your training, especially consistently over time, but this is gonna just bring back so much more improvement. And so what I mean is, get into a proven system, buy a proven program, or get a coach, or just plan out your training sessions that not only helps you with the fundamentals and the basics and things you should always be getting good at or always working on, but things that are going to specifically help you stand out in your position with the way that you play, shore up your weaknesses. And when you have a strategic plan in place, it allows for those things to happen. It makes sure those things are covered. And so then your job then is just to go to the pitch, go to the gym, wherever you're going, and implement the plan. Seriously, having a schedule, a plan that's attuned to you or is a proven system will really help you improve so much. And if you're just winging it, don't expect to get too many results. And number one is to just keep moving forward. And what I mean is a lot of times players get derailed by maybe they get a slight knock or injury, they're out for a little bit, or they've had some bad performances, or they're making some mistakes. And one of the greatest habits you can really get is to just continue to move forward and to let go of those mistakes, let go of those bad performances, analyze them, sure, learn from them, absolutely. But if you can just keep moving forward and focusing on just continually making progress, even when the setbacks come in, you'll find that you're improving so much. Because again, a lot of players will take, kind of one step forward, two step back sometimes because they're making mistakes and they beat themselves up, or because they're in a bad run of form and they kind of dwell on it and it gets worse and worse and worse. And the more you can just kind of focus on doing your best, moving forward, letting those things go, the more you'll start to improve. Because look, in football, especially if you're looking to go to higher levels, whether that's collegiate or semi-pro or even the pro level, there's going to be tons of ups and downs. And I think it's not how you handle the ups, because it's very easy to kind of, really be enjoying your football when it's the ups. It's how do you handle the downs? Do you keep moving forward? Do you keep trying your best? Do you keep your head up, or do you succumb to it? And a lot of players succumb to it. They kind of put their head down and they just hope for it to end, but you can be more proactive than that. And I'm not saying it's easy, but if you keep moving forward in those situations, you come to it from a different perspective. It's just going to help you improve. And very quickly, again, this game, a lot of it is mental. And if you work on that side and you get really good at that, it's going to go a long way. Now, if you want some of the best tips that I can give to improve your game, go watch this video next, where I go over 11 of the best football tips to help take your game to that next level, to help you stand out and be one of the best players on the pitch.